What cabins should you avoid when you book your next cruise? Let's talk about it. So before we talk about what cabins you should avoid, let's first talk about the general cabins that are on a cruise ship. And generally, the three cabin types, well maybe four, the three cabin types that are on a cruise ship are an inside cabin, an ocean view cabin, which means you have a view of the ocean through a porthole or a window, and then a balcony cabin. There are some variations of this based on ship, but in general, those are the three types of cabin. And then there's actually a fourth type, which would be a suite. And a suite could come in many different sizes. You could get a junior suite, you can get a 1-bedroom suite, a 2-bedroom suite, like there's tower suites. You run the gambit with suites. But in general, you have your inside rooms, your ocean view rooms, your balcony rooms, and then your suites. So now that you've chosen what type of room you would like, where should you not be on the ship? What areas should you avoid? The first area you should avoid or think about avoiding is choosing a cabin that is right below the pool deck. So the pool deck's usually on the top deck. Do not book a cabin if you can avoid it on the deck that's right below the pool deck. It gets pretty noisy. It's noisy during the day because people are out there doing activities in the pool, walking around, chairs are dragging, there's music, and it can make a difference. Secondly, at night, a lot of times there's parties that happen on the pool deck. So again, there's music, it's noisy. And then overnight or even first thing in the morning, the crew's up there getting the deck ready for the next day. So they're cleaning the deck. They're moving chairs. You really do hear a lot of movement. My husband and I made this mistake once, and we will never make it again because it was a little bit noisy. It wasn't as noisy when we went to bed at night, but it was noisy by like 4:30 in the morning. And we could hear them dragging the pool chairs. It was not pleasant. So I will never make that mistake again. The second place that you want to avoid having your room on a ship is anywhere near the promenade. So the promenade could be on different decks depending on what ship you're on. It could be called an atrium. It could be called a promenade. The bottom line is you kind of want to avoid this area too, because this is like Main Street, USA. It's where everything happens. It's where there's a lot of activity. There's a lot of music. In general, the promenade's just a pretty busy place. So if you can avoid being like right below or right above the promenade, you'll probably be pretty happy if you like it quieter. I know my husband and I like it a little quieter. We don't stay up late, so we like to go to bed a little bit earlier. So again, we don't book a room that's around the promenade. The third place to avoid when booking a cabin on a cruise ship is being located anywhere near any music venues. Some places where they hold concerts, there's dance clubs, there's a lot of things of activities and music that goes on a cruise ship. So you want to avoid any of those areas if you like your sleep at night, because many times those areas tend to be busy and noisy well into the night. So if you like your sleep, you probably want to avoid those areas. Another area that you might want to avoid is having your cabin close to the elevators. That can be a gathering place. It could tend to be where people are a little bit noisy when they're waiting for the elevator to come. Some people like to be close to the elevators because it's so convenient, but some people like to be a little bit offset from that. So if you think that's something that might be bothersome to you, just take it in consideration that sometimes it can be a little bit noisier when you're closer to the elevators, just because there's a lot of traffic. I'm Judy. I'm a travel advisor specializing in cruising and Disney destinations. And if you find this content helpful, please feel free to subscribe and like the video. It really means a lot to me. It helps my channel out a lot, and it doesn't cost you anything but to click subscribe. And then you can follow all of our adventures that we're going to be doing in 2023. Another place to avoid where you really want to think about where you want to book your room would be close to crew areas. So there are corridors and staircases on a cruise ship that are just open to crew members. And so these are like cruise corridors, cruise staircases, like I said. It's places where the crew can move about the ship without having to always be around the passengers, so they can move quickly. So if you look at a deck map and you see an area where you might see that there's a door and you might see that there's a staircase, but on the deck plan it looks like it's unmarked, that's probably a crew area. And again, not bad, but it could be a little bit noisy because the crew is constantly moving about the ship. So if you're right across from an area that is a crew area, you might hear door slams, you might hear, carts being pulled through the doors. You just might hear some chatter and things between the crew members. Again, it's might tend to be a little bit noisier. This is a little bit more common maybe with an inside room than a balcony room, but still it's something to take into consideration for sure. This is not an all-inclusive list, but it does give you a general idea of what you can avoid and where you can avoid when you're really so careful with choosing your room. When you're booking a cruise, you can have access to the deck plans. The cruise lines have all that right on their site. So I would really take a look at the deck plan to see really where your cabin will be. I know it's a big decision to decide what type of cabin that you're going to want and then where on the ship you want to be. Do you want to be forward? Do you want to be aft? Do you want to be midship? But then once you make those two decisions, look at the deck plans and see exactly where the cabin is so that you're not disappointed. You're spending a lot of money to go on this cruise. It's time and money. You want to be able to have some peace in your cabin. So thanks everybody. I hope you found this video helpful. And again, if you did, please hit the subscribe button. Take care.